Sawadee krap, I'm JP Mestanza. Today is Thursday, May 9th. You're watching Phuket Extra, brought to you by pbcphuket.com. The cannabis boom in Thailand is being threatened as Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin ordered the Ministry of Public Health to relist cannabis as a Category 5 narcotic by year's end, in a U-turn from the previous administration that allowed Thailand to become one of the first countries in all of Asia to decriminalize its recreational use.
Cannabis was taken off the list of Category 5 narcotics back in June of 2022, and in those 2 years, the domestic cannabis retail sector has blossomed with tens of thousands of shops and businesses in the kingdom popping up over that time. Economists project that the cannabis industry in the kingdom could be worth up to $1.2 billion by 2025, or 44.2 billion baht. On the social media platform X this week, formerly Twitter, the premier announced, quote, "I want the health ministry to amend the rules and relist cannabis as a narcotic. The ministry should act quickly and issue a rule to allow its usage for health and medical purposes only." Cannabis was decriminalized in 2022 in Thailand, and while the intent was to promote medical use, recreational use skyrocketed as officials ultimately failed to create any framework around the usage or even the business environment around its sale. The previous government tried to amend the laws to finally do just that, but it failed to pass before their term ended. A new cannabis and hemp bill, championed by now former Health Minister Chonnan Srikeo, who is part of the same Phut party as the premier, he was unable to see it through before he lost his job in last week's cabinet reshuffle. New Public Health Minister Somsak Depsutin was asked about his thoughts on a cannabis bill earlier this week, but he stated he wanted to hear others' opinions first before deciding on a course of action. But now, the premier is essentially demanding that the ministry relist cannabis as a Category 5 narcotic, leaving questions about the tens of thousands of businesses that have sprung up over the last 2 years. The Prime Minister mentioned cannabis as part of a wider effort to curb what he terms as the drug problem in Thailand, and mentioned drugs like yaba or methamphetamine tablets. The Secretary General of the Cannabis Future Network says that the rule change would deal a massive blow to the economy and would greatly affect small businesses around Thailand. He stated, quote, "If scientific results would show that cannabis is worse than alcohol and cigarettes, then they can relist it as a narcotic. If cannabis is less harmful, they should list cigarettes and alcohol as narcotics too." For more, visit the link in the description.
An update now on a previous story that we reported earlier this week, as a 47-year-old man is now confessing to having accidentally shot and killed his friend during a hunting trip in the jungles behind the Karon viewpoint late on Sunday night.
The body of 40-year-old Hashai Kauhem was discovered on Sunday night just before midnight at the bottom of the jungle near the Karon viewpoint. Police noted that his body was lying in an unusual position, with his backpack on, a head-mounted flashlight on as well, and a pellet rifle nearby his body. The body was recovered and sent to Vashida Phuket Hospital, where doctors confirmed he had a bullet wound under his right armpit that came to a stop in the man's mouth. Police then visited the home of 47-year-old Chanak Chulak in Karon, who was the last person who had reportedly seen Hashai, as they had gone hunting together on Saturday. This is when Chanak confessed he shot Hashai by accident at about 4 a.m. on Saturday. He thought he saw a mouse deer through the undergrowth and shot his homemade rifle, made to fire 12-gauge shotgun cartridges, and heard his friend call out that he was hit. He rushed to him, but Hashai was already unconscious. He placed a bag under his head and tried to perform CPR, but was unable to resuscitate his friend. He fled in fear, according to reports. He's now been taken for further questioning to Karon police station, and police say he will face further legal action. For more, visit thephuket.com.
Just before you break a bone.
The free electric bus service set to be launched in Phuket Town. It's been delayed and will now begin on May 17th.
The service was initially announced to start today, May 9th, but on Wednesday, the local consortium of companies, titled Phuket City Development Co. Ltd., announced the delay, with service now set to begin on May 17. The PKCD joined forces with the Sustainable Tourism Development Foundation to launch the free air-conditioned electric bus service in Phuket Town, dubbed the Dragon Line. It's free for all tourists and residents and will be available every day as a trial period. Buses will operate along a circular route every 30 minutes from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. It'll make 16 stops along its route, which are now on your screen. The chairman of the Sustainable Tourism Development Foundation noted at the project launch last month that the project was the result of the problem of traffic congestion and the problem of insufficient parking in Phuket Town. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
British Ambassador to Thailand Mark Gooding visited the island of Phuket this week and was welcomed by Phuket Governor Sopon Suwaranat, where they had discussions focusing on tourist safety.
Of note, the British government does not have a consulate in Phuket. The meeting, held at Phuket Provincial Hall, was held to help develop relations between Phuket and the British government, with the governor emphasizing the need for mitigating road accident involving motorcycles and ensuring water safety. Of note, while the talks focused heavily on safety, the visit to Phuket by Ambassador Gooding came 2 days after British woman Zoe Luckett was struck down and killed by a passenger van running a red light in Kamala, an incident in which the lack of action by police has outraged local residents in Kamala. Regarding water safety and beach safety for tourists, the Phuket News understands that the only beach where there are any night patrols is in Patong, where night patrols that include lifeguards are carried out through a project by the Patong Development Foundation, founded and headed by Prap Kisin, son of former Patong Mayor Pian Kisin. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday edition of Phuket Xtra, brought to you by pbcphuket.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000, and luxury properties can go all the way up to $20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.